Today on the grid, we are talking about and sharing images from our trip to Santorini, Greece. What? Plus, we're going to look at some brand new post-processing stuff. Erik, the real Rocket Man Kuna, is here, and we've got all kinds of wild stories. Some wild, wild stuff on a fine, fine day. We're going to be giving away some stuff to people who are watching live. We may even give some stuff to people who are watching dead. And when does this all start? In 23.2 seconds. Let's go!
The Grid is brought to you by Platypod, the tripod alternative that is changing the world. Everybody has a Platypod. You should too. Go to platypod.com.
Yeah. Whoa. 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 Whoa.
Dobson's back.
Dobson's back.
Dobson's back. Well, hi, everybody. Scott and Erik here. I know I look different because I forgot my glasses. I drove here with my sunglasses, which are prescription, by the way.
Yeah.
But they're aviator glasses. They look stupid. Look, I'm trying to be Tom Cruise or something, which I know I look a lot like Tom Cruise. However, and you know, the glasses put over the top, but I'm not wearing the aviator glasses. So if I look a little weird, it's because I look a little weird.
Or you could just say, I got contacts.
Oh, I got contacts. Mm-hmm. I can't put anything in my eyes.
Anyway,
I couldn't do that either. Anyway, Erik and I are here. Got a brand new shirt from my spring collection here. Right? There we go. Part of my spring collection. Mm-hmm. Very excited. Actually, it's probably my summer collection now.
I have my uniform on.
All right. Yeah. All righty. Well, we have a lot today. So there's lots of post-processing new stuff. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We've got, what else have we got? We've got our trip to Santorini. So Erik and I are just back a few days ago from our workshop in Santorini. You guys have heard me talk about it to death. Well, it happened, and it was awesome.
It was almost magical at times.
It was, and I have stories to tell you. Before we do that, though, we got prizes to give away today. So, Erik, tell them what they can win today.
Well, we love prizes here on the Grid. You know that. And we're going to be giving away 2 of Scott's books. First, the How to Do That in Photoshop book.
How do you do that?
You can find that over on Amazon, but somebody's going to win it today. Another book you can find on Amazon, the Photoshop book for digital photographers. We're going to be giving away that one as well. Then we're giving away a Platypod elbow. So you can get that over at platypod.com. A cool little device that kind of can attach stuff to pretty much anything that has those types of clamps. You don't have to have just a Platypod, but a lot of different devices. And then we're going to give away a V-Flat from V-Flat World. These are great because they fold up and they can go right into any car or anything that you have, and really folds nice and compact. So somebody's going to win that V-Flat. And then a copy of ON1 No Noise 2024, new version of their noise reduction software. It also includes sharpening. So you get all that in one package. Really great for removing noise and adding sharpening to your images. And then Retouch for Me is giving away their Mattifier plugin. And this is a plugin for Photoshop where you can do skin retouching. So there's that. Then SlickPic's giving away a 1 year of their classic gallery plan to one viewer. Now, this is a new customers only. So if you already have SlickPic, don't enter this one because you can't redeem it. So new customers only win the SlickPic 1 year classic gallery plan. And to enter the contest, all you got to do is leave us a comment wherever you're watching us. Tell us what you'd like to win. We're monitoring all those YouTube, Facebook, our website, anywhere you're watching, we're monitoring all those, and you just comment and you're entered to win.
Great. All righty. So we're going to tell you a little bit about the thing. I have to ask Erik. Erik sent me a bunch of BTS photos that are still stuck in my messages app.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So do you have any of those handy?
Not handy. They're on my phone.
Okay. Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell the story, and hopefully at some point, Erik will be able to show those that back up the stories that we have. All right. First off, we had a marvelous time. Absolutely marvelous. Mm-hmm. Had a great group of photographers. We had great weather. everything was great. It was really, really great. Everything came together. It was just awesome. The lot of planning goes in before we get there. So when we get there, we have fun things to do. So one of the things that we do, and those of you who've been in my workshops know, but some of you we may not, is one of the things that we do is sometimes, not every workshop, but we give an assignment. And we will tell them, you know, because we go and shoot all of the classic Santorini shots, right? We're going to go and get all what we call the hero shots, right? So hero shots.
You have to, because if you don't, you know, you didn't go there.
Yeah. So and people will be like, "Where's your shots of
where's
the
the Eiffel
domes?
Tower? Where's the Eiffel Tower? Where's the
Big
Colosseum?"
Ben?
Like
Yeah.
you got to have those,
right? You got to have, and we're going to shoot them all, so that's not a problem. But what I try to convince them is, hero shots are great. You got to take them, but you also have to take other shots that are
supporting actors.
Yeah, that they help tell the story, but they're not going to be a 2-page spread in your book, right? And it's everything from shooting the food to shooting the architecture, but in particular in Santorini, and I gave lots of examples, kind of almost shooting a fine art architectural type of thing, because Santorini's made for it. So, what is this all leading to? At the end of the workshop, on the very last day, I take their photos, I take each participant's photos, and I put them into a magazine. So it's a magazine format. I'm a magazine guy, right? So I put them into a magazine format so they can see how their images would look if they actually were in a magazine.
Yeah, like a travel magazine.
And then when they see that, all of a sudden they're like, oh, yeah, that picture that I took of that fish, which wasn't a hero shot, but it looks fantastic in the context of a 10-page spread. So what I did was I made one for myself. I didn't have time to make an Adobe Express page, which I am going to do, and I'll share that on my blog. But at this point, all I had time to do was because I have templates for the magazines I could put the images in. I did that, but when I'm done, not yet. When I'm done, I want to share real quickly the students' magazines, because you're going to find that the students outshot me a lot. Now, once the workshop starts, except for I think on one occasion, I'm just doing behind the scenes and taking example photos with my phone.
We're never shooting.
Yeah, we're not really
That's
shooting.
the worst when you go on a workshop and like the person instructing you is never instructing you.
Yeah, we're not. Shooting. We're going from person to person and making sure everybody's getting the shots and stuff. And they were. Everybody got incredible. So you're going to see their photos and you're going to go, Scott, their photos look better than yours. Well, that's the way it's supposed to work. So, but you know. All right, let me get this going here. Give me 1 second. And I have to tell stories as I go, because that's what we do.
Yes.
All right, hang on. I just hit every wrong
bar going on.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how to get. Let me see if I can actually get rid of it. All right. So I made up a cover for this thing. We can show it there. So I made up a cover and I just stick a random image on there. All right. Now I'll take you through what we did. This was the second morning. First morning, second morning.
Second morning.
So we flew a model in from Athens, Greece. So we flew her over. She's a professional model. We flew her over from Athens, Greece. We bought this dress. We bought it. It was delivered here in America, but the dress is from India. It's I forget where it's from, but it's from India. We flew the model in. We hired a villa. We rented a villa. We rented a villa in a perfect location with the blue dome right behind there. Yep. And then we hired assistants to help us throw the dress. Because what you do is you throw the dress in the air and then you try to compose the shot so you don't see the assistants. And if you do see an arm or something, of course, you just take it out in post. Because it does happen occasionally. You will see an arm flowing in there. Okay. So I'll just show you that was one, and we had a great time. Everybody got killer shots, as you're going to see. Very different shots as well. This is one where we wanted to shoot at twilight. And what was interesting, and Erik pointed this out many times, as soon as the sun goes down, everybody leaves. Like you're out there, not from our group, but all the tourists and other photographers leave. And I think the prettiest stuff happened. We had beautiful sunsets.
Yeah, the prettiest stuff always happens a little bit after sunset. And then definitely in Santorini, like this shot, it's about 25 minutes, maybe 25, 30 minutes after sunset. All the lights come on.
Right.
And you really get that that highlight shadow.
Yep.
It's just really cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. And it's funny, though, because it's so crowded at sunset, and that sun ducks under the horizon line, and it's like somebody released a skunk, and everybody's gone. All right.
And then we can set up our tripods. We can get in position.
Oh,
we
yeah,
can shoot.
it's wonderful. All right, this is some of that architectural fine art stuff that I was talking about, where you're just shooting details, and there's so many places in there. So many. It's like they set the island up for you to do that.
Designed for photographers.
This is me from that same location, but zooming in. I had one lens the whole time. I didn't even take a second lens. The 24, the 240, my favorite lens, $899. It's sharp, it's crisp, it's awesome.
And I will say this about that lens. We told everybody about that before.
Yeah.
24-240, there's a Nikon version similar, and then there's a Sony version that's a little similar. Pretty much everybody had that lens.
Yeah.
And they were so thankful by the end that they had that lens.
Yes. It's a great lens. So this was 75 yards from our hotel.
Yes, it was.
This was right by our hotel. And this next shot, I kind of liked it because you see some people eating there with a dome in the background. It's like the sky at that point wasn't real great.
Well, and that's the story too. Of like that's most of the restaurants there are sitting right on the edge,
right on
overlooking the water. Yeah, you can see the light coming in.
And we did a shoot with our Platypods inside a beautiful church, the St. John the Baptist Church.
Yep.
And what I love about it is the ceiling inside is blue. So the outside of the dome is not blue, but the inside of the dome is a beautiful blue. And we were able to shoot in there. That was really nice. And this view is another very, very famous view. And we particularly like the way the catamaran, you could position yourself.
Parked there.
Well, the catamaran was right there.
I was radioing down to the catamaran saying, move to the left.
Move it to the left. He wasn't really, but it felt like he was. This is just another one of the famous, the stairway that just goes off into the pool and into the water is kind of a famous one. Here's a shot so this is where we were shooting from at one point in the villa. There were these two doors, and you could shoot through the doors. So this is you can't see the guy tossing it. He's just below there. Our assistant tossing it. He did a great job, Michael. He was awesome. And this was taken from a bar where we were having beer and wine. So sometimes, but we did have beer and wine on numerous occasions. So on the left is we went into this, probably the biggest and most famous cathedral is absolutely pitch dark inside. I mean, it is dark. It is pitch dark. Like you realize, if I bring a camera in here, I'm going to have to be on a tripod. And of course, they don't allow tripods. And there's a woman at the door making sure that you don't do anything wrong. She's on it too.
Oh, she was yelling at people left and right.
Yeah, yelling at people left and right. And I'll tell you more about that shot in a minute. You see a lot of this, not the black umbrellas. I like the black umbrellas, but the architecture is very, very similar all the way through. And I saw the black umbrellas. I thought the black and the white and the blue contrasted really well.
Yeah, it's got that black and white and then highlight shadow.
Yeah, I love that. I could shoot that all day. This is a shot of our it's taken right around the corner from that hotel.
Well, yeah, the villa is to the right over there.
Yeah. And then here's another one of those sunset shots. We had beautiful skies, gorgeous, gorgeous skies. Now, I didn't have time to make any more pages, so I just threw some photos into frames. And this was just a particular one that I just love, this little villa, and I'm jealous of who gets to stay there. So I'll just take you real quick just through some more photos that, you get the idea.
Sensational.
But I'm coming up on my favorite story of the trip. Okay, here's my favorite story. All right, so we find this great restaurant. Wonderful restaurant. It's not in the main drag. It's not in the main part of town. It's kind of behind our hotel, maybe 5 minutes from our hotel. We go inside and we make a great connection with the owner. It's a family-run place, a mom and her two sons. Super nice family. And this is the guy that we made our connection with, Aldo. Super, super nice guy. He's got an adorable restaurant. And the food is off the chain. Absolutely amazing crazy food. So we make a deal with Aldo. And the deal is that he will open the restaurant before the public's in. He will open it just for our group so we can go in and photograph the food. Now, I did a session in the hotel where we were. We have a classroom, very nice classroom, where I explained how to shoot food for travel. This is not how to shoot food for a cookbook.
Yes.
It's like how to come back with great photos of the food, because it's part of the travel experience, and it's a very, very important part of the travel experience. It's one of the top reasons why people say they want to travel. So I always include it in all of my travel photography. Got to get great shots of the food. As luck would have it, in Aldo's restaurant, all of the windows are north-facing. Why do we want north-facing photos? Because north-facing windows are the only windows that do not get direct sunlight.
They're always reflective.
It's always nice, light coming in, soft light. It's like what the Dutch masters used to use to make their portraits. You want to make the Mona Lisa, you look for a north-facing window, and then you look for someone that looks like Mona Lisa. All right. All that being said, Patrick is asking, did you have to use exposure corrections for all the white buildings? Not really. Maybe a little.
Raw.
There wasn't really any. Like, you didn't have to pull back the highlights. If you pull back the highlights a lot, Patrick, the white buildings turn gray.
Yeah, and they get gray. They're not good.
Yeah, we just exposed properly for them. The camera does it. You pick an f-stop and the camera chooses shutter speed. It really wasn't an issue. In fact, I would say more often than not, the photos were a little underexposed because you're shooting white stuff.
Yeah, so the camera's picking it up and actually trying to
it's really bright, and so they would tamp it down a little bit. So it was not an issue. All right, so back to our Aldo story. So Aldo is allowing us in, and here's the deal with Aldo. We'll give him our best shots. We told Aldo, we'll give you your best shots. Here's what Aldo did. Aldo cooked all of their his mom is the cook. She made all of the main dishes. They come out, and he's got a white table right there. We told him, here's how we need it all set up, and he did all of that. He gets it all set up. It's just beautiful. And it comes out. We all shoot it. We all using the techniques I learned. And by the way, have you ever seen 12 people get the technique faster than
No. That was what was so cool. It's like we started out and we kept on reminding them. We kept on showing, and it was the first plate. After the first plate, which usually this never happens, they all had it nailed.
Everybody nailed it. They were getting killer shots. Okay, so, and you'll see some shots here of theirs in a minute. So we start shooting. When the shoot's done, a minute or two, a couple minutes, 5 minutes, whatever, we all have little plates. We all get some.
Yep.
So the food keeps coming out.
It's just coming out.
So we've got wine, we've got beer, we've got
wine,
drinks,
and food.
We've got bread, we've got all this stuff, and the food just keeps coming out. We get up, we shoot it, and then we eat it.
We tried the whole menu.
It's the most beautiful day you can imagine. It's gorgeous. The doors are open to the restaurant. The windows are open. It's just beautiful.
Nice breeze coming.
Great breeze. Everyone's having a ball. Greek music's playing. We all start just clapping. And
a new dish will come out. We're like,
new
yay!
dish, yay! And we're clapping along to the music. Aldo is just charming. He comes out and he goes, "This was a recipe of my grandmother's," and he explains how all the food's done and stuff. And we got to shoot. We were there for 3 hours. It was never planned. But then we started ordering meals and stuff. And meals are coming
more
out.
like 3.5 before we left.
God, it was
so ongoing.
It was just absolutely. And you know what? At some point, somebody came up and said, "This is like being in a movie." This was like a movie. It was like you're in a movie as it's happening. Now, do you have any behind-the-scenes photos from this?
Yeah, I got some.
If you look at some, all right. So let's take a look real quick. Here's some behind-the-scenes photos of us.
Yeah,
if you can see Erik's machine real quick.
Yep. That's
so here we are. We're about see those. Those are fried tomatoes that we're about to eat. And look, there's the north-facing window.
Yeah. It was
we're
just
all
perfect.
Shooting. We're doing overhead shots with the iPhone because the iPhone has
us all lounging around in between courses.
In between courses, there's so much food.
Yeah.
And we turned, I think, 78 photos to Aldo, and he was delighted with them.
That was it.
All right. So thank you, Erik.
Yep.
All right. So I'll just show you a couple of food shots really quick. And that's Aldo deboning a fish, because when you order the fish dish, he will absolutely bone it. Oh, look, Diane. So Diane was with us She was one of our photographers. She said the food was absolutely amazing, and it was a total blast to photograph and sample each of the dishes.
It was
Hi,
really
Diane.
nice because we got to taste the whole menu, just a little bit, the whole menu.
Oh yeah, it was it was like magical. All right, so I'll just show you a couple more shots real quick here.
Yeah.
You get the
Salads
idea.
were
Oh, the
amazing.
salads. Their salads were ridiculous. Calamari. Here's the salad. This is, again, iPhone shot straight overhead.
Santorini salad, the chicken hero.
Oh, the gyros, then the fish, and then a different salad. There was multiple salads that came out.
Spinach pie salad.
Spinach pie salad. And I asked him to come out and like cut some and hold some. Because for what you would do in a travel magazine, that's more likely what you would see. All right. So now that I've shown you those real quick, I just would like to, if I could, I want to show you the magazines of our.
You got to,
because you got to see how good they did, and you're going to go, Scott. They did way better than you, and it's true.
Rami, one of our KelbyOne instructors, is saying Santorini is on my list indeed.
I'd been there before, but I fell in love with it this time. I didn't fall in love with the stairs.
Oh yes,
there's a stair or two in that town. Let me tell you, you
gotta be ready for stairs.
Let me tell you, and here's how that town
uphill. Always uphill.
Always uphill. And I even said at one point, does it ever go downhill? Is there ever a point where you walk down? No, it's just always up. But here's where they kick you in the shins.
Yep. That's good.
In the breakfast restaurant, wonderful buffet. We stayed at the Santorini Palace. Highly recommended. Great location. Wonderful breakfast. But in the breakfast, they had a flight of stairs in the breakfast restaurant.
That's how you know.
You're sitting down there and you go, oh, I'm going to go get some more orange juice. Oh, God, here we go.
Up the stairs. Down the stairs.
Get
up
your stuff.
the stairs.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Yep.
Here, now these are from the participants in the class. All right, this is from Bill. Now, Bill didn't get to stay for the whole thing. Look at that shot.
Yeah.
Look at that. That was a beautiful night.
Mm-hmm. Look at that one.
I know.
Yeah.
Everybody got killers. Look at these. There's some of that architect. Everybody did some of the fine art. There's Michael from the community.
Yeah, Michael in Bill's shot.
Yeah.
Posing.
Boy, these came out nice. All right, here's Dan.
Dan's.
Look at this one. This was one that we went to. This is actually 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah, about 8:30.
8:30. And there's things like this, little things that are like they're just put up.
They're
for
like
you to
designed
shoot.
for photographers.
Yeah. There's Aldo.
There's Aldo
bringing out some fish. Look at that shot up top. That was at another restaurant that we went to a bunch, right?
Yeah.
And that's from that church. These are nice. There's some of that salad. And all right, let's look at Diane since she's on and watching.
Yeah.
Oh, she's got a great magazine. Check this out. Look at her cover
Look at
shot.
that color
And do I get 5 points for putting her head above the
the text.
Thank you. Yeah, thank
floating
you.
on the text.
Thank you. That used to be a real pain in the butt. Now it takes like 30 seconds. Look at that.
Look at that. Yeah, that was magical.
I love her fine art stuff. Her fine art stuff, I think, is really good. I love this spread here. Look at him holding a little boy holding up that dog. It's dog. Look at this. We had one night we had just an amazing sunset. It was incredible. I love this, how tight in it is.
Mm-hmm. The details.
And then look at these. Oh, we got some food shot. What?
We got some tomato fritters and fish.
Oh, those tomato fritters. All right, these are Howard's. I better go through these quicker. We're never going to get out of here. I love the shot of the two people at the restaurant. That's at the fishing village. There's Aldo. He's there again. A little bit of beer there at Aldo's.
We got to tag Aldo in the comments.
Howard had one of my favorite, had one of my all-time favorite shots of the flying dress there.
Yeah, and if you want to look up on Facebook, No Name Santorini Restaurant, they're on Facebook. If you ever want to check them out.
Yep, if you're going there, you got to go there. Got to go there. And affordable, not crazy or anything. Prices were great. I love this one. All right, Jeffrey. Great cover shot. Look at that. This one I love. God, these are so many good shots. A little food snuck in there. That's taken from inside a gift shop. Look at this one. I love that one. Where he's pouring the lemon butter sauce. Oh, come on. Look at that.
And look at that one with the catamaran or the sail
show. Yeah, the big show. Jean Paul. Look at these. And what's amazing, I love this one. His post processing on this.
So,
was really
and
good.
the other thing we talked about is when you look at these photos, they're a little different than what you really see of Santorini because they're all done in the right light. So many photos of Santorini are done in the middle of the
3 o'clock
day
in the afternoon
because you're off a cruise ship.
Hey, look at this nice shot here.
Yeah.
Isn't that nice? Makes a 2-page spread there. That's a nice one.
Well, we went out for a Milky Way shoot.
Yes. Yeah. So Erik finds a spot in Santorini that is not so, it's got a little bit of light pollution, but not so bad. And he says, who wants to go with me at 3 in the morning? It's optional, but you leave the hotel. We had a van pick us up at 3 in the morning, go a half an hour, get set up. Erik's going to teach everybody how to do everybody. 7 people went?
7 people went.
7
Almost half, more than half the group.
And then they can't go back to sleep because when you come back, we got to have breakfast and then go out for a shoot.
But we hit it. But
they did. They stayed up for like 24 hours. It was crazy. But everybody got cool shots. Here's some more here. Nice. Classic. This dome and this scene is what? 60 seconds from our hotel.
60 seconds.
60 seconds.
Like you walk out, you walk
out the front door,
boom,
just walk straight, and then you're there. Well, you have to walk up a little ramp, of course, because it's Santorini. But, all right, these are Michael's. And those are you in the KelbyOne community. You know Michael, really cool guy, very good photographer with a great eye.
Very great eye. He always has the different eye.
Yeah, and look at this.
Like that shot that like people didn't get. Yeah.
Nobody got this. It was taken down in the fishing village, and that is the most popular part up there. EA, it's called. The most popular part of Santorini.
Spelled O-I-A.
Yep. And this is from there as well. Lots of cool. There's the ceiling of that church. Lots of cool shots. And of course,
food. Gotta have the food.
Food. Look at that one.
Flying dress.
All right. This is Miles. This was Miles' 6th workshop with me. Miles is super cool. Look at that. Yeah, Miles is very good. I want to say it's because of the 6 workshops, but Miles was good when he showed up. Look at the beams of light coming through. That's the back of the church. Look at these. Beauty, eh? And look at that. Everybody got great shots of that flying dress. This is Sam. This was Sam's first workshop with me. Very cool guy. Had a great sense of humor.
Yep. This
was in our hotel.
That's when you walk out of the elevator.
Yeah, you walk out of the elevator. That's the scene. Look at that beam of light. This was really cool. It's funny because we're all together shooting, and everybody, look at how different the shots are, right?
Yeah, because we're at similar locations, sometimes standing feet apart, and the amount of variety that you get. Because that's what people think is, oh, I'm going to go and I'm going to get the same shots. Like, no, nobody got any of the same shots.
Yep. All right, here we go. And this is Sharon. Sharon did a nice job.
Look at that one.
Taken from a same spot, but a completely different composition.
Yeah, because you're seeing all the way down to that fishing village, all the way up to...
And then she goes in tight, right? Mm-hmm. And then she's got these guys. She's got the guy playing a bouzouki. And then this shot. Like, everybody got different shots. She got down. You have a picture of her laying in the rocks to get that low angle.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the hanging octopus. Octo.
Octopi.
I love what she did with her architectural stuff.
Yeah.
And then, of course,
there's
another amazing shot. Tim wound up winning.
Tim was the winner.
Tim won the winner of Best Shot of the Week. Look at that. Looks great as a 2-page spread. This is a Milky Way and stars shot.
Yeah, that's where we went. Those rocks are just so cool.
But
It's
they're
like this
super
eroded,
tall. They're like
that's about 100 feet. Yeah,
it's 100 feet tall.
Yeah, it's really cool.
This is that fishing village. Look at these shots. And I like he's got the boat right in the middle of the sunset. The sun's reflecting in the water. That's nice. Little architectural stuff there. Beautiful. And this is the one that he won with. Now it's chosen by the whole class. Everybody gets to vote and chooses it. All right, Tom, we're almost done here. I got to go quicker through these. That's really nice. Love the pose. That's great. All of these. Look at that. That's another look at that sunset.
And the food.
And the food. So delicious. That's beautiful. This was, if you were standing there before dark and you looked to your right, that was to the right.
Yep.
There we go. They took some good shots,
yeah,
right?
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was so much fun. And our own Jason came with me, and we were able to, before the students got there, we were able to record a class for KelbyOne.
Because we love pain.
Travel photography.
We love pain, and we love to put ourselves through the ringer.
We love to do too much.
Yeah, we were doing too much. But
we did too much.
Yeah, if you ever want to, just Scott Kelby Workshops, go sign up if you ever want to get on the waiting list to go.
If you're not on the waiting list, you'll find out early. I'm looking at Norway in September, and then Eric and I are looking at one. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, but for November.
We got a good one.
It's late October, early November. We got a good one. We got a surprisingly good one that we're going to be doing later in the year. Okay. In the meantime, we're going to take a short break. All right. You probably have already heard, right? Because it's kind of a little bit late news. But yesterday, Adobe came out with some new updates to Lightroom and Photoshop. Not earth-shattering stuff, except Lightroom now has a generative fill checkbox that instead of using the pixels in the image, it actually uses generative fill to help you get rid of stuff. And of course, generative fill is pretty awesome. So there's that. However, at the same time, or close to the same time, just before it, ON1 came out with a major update to their ON1 Photo RAW, and joining us in just a minute is Dan from ON1 to show us all the cool new stuff. There's lots of cool new stuff, so stick around. We're going to be joining up with Dan in just a moment, so stick around to see some cool new post-processing stuff. By the way, about everybody in our class had some ON1 stuff, and it's good because we were using it in class.
All right, there we go.
Hi folks, I know a lot of you photographers out there are using ON1 software, and you probably heard that they came out with their new ON1 Photo RAW 2024. I just did a class on it, and there's some mind-blowing stuff in there. You have a RAW processor, and it's a good RAW processor, but it's also got all of the ON1 filters. It's got effects, it's got portrait AI, it's got sky replacement, best sky replacement anywhere, by the way. They've got all kinds of these plugins they're all built in there. It's like a whole ecosystem of a million things, and you can just keep building and building and building. It's pretty mind-blowing. There's a lot to it, but I'm going to take you through all of it. We're going to start from scratch. We're going to do a live shoot in the studio. We're going to bring the images in. We're going to edit them. We're doing landscape shots. We're doing travel shots. We're doing it all, and you're going to see the whole thing from start to finish. Come check out my brand new class on ON1's Photo RAW 2024. It's only one place. It's exclusively at KelbyOne.com.
Hey everybody, Erik Kuna here, and I'm here with another class on creative techniques for airshow photography. This is going to build off of if you've just taken a basics class, you've gone to air shows, you've got the basics down. We're going to go through these techniques that you can do to take your shots from just having a frozen plane or just having some prop blur to adding motion to your frame, putting intersecting objects with your frame. We're going to go through things about lowering our shutter speed, raising our shutter speed, using stuff in the foreground, using stuff in the background, different angles that we're going to shoot, taking our shots from just good, sharp shots to creative shots like this. So join me over in my class over on KelbyOne.com, all about creative airshow photography techniques.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Canon.
And it looks like Dan is here from ON1. So Dan, just so you know, we can't hear you at all. The control room can, but Erik and I can't. So here's what we're going to do, because we're so well prepared. We're going to turn it over to you. We're going to go, hey Dan, show us stuff, and boom, there you go.
Oh. Well, that's great. Thanks for having me. I'm used to our normal banter, so I'm not sure I can fill everything up here. I think the two things we wanted to talk about, one was your new course that I'm super excited for. I was watching through it. I think in less than 2 hours, you tackled the most important stuff about Photo RAW. So if you're just getting started, you want to go from soup to nuts, I think that new course is a great place to start. I think the other thing we want to talk about, and what I'm excited about, is the landscape conference that's coming up in June, and I'm going to be doing a segment on black and white editing. So I grew up in the black and white darkroom with the school for photography, and black and white has always been a very passionate area for me. So being able to create beautiful looking black and white prints, that's my goal, is to help teach you guys how to do that. So I thought I'd do is I'd show you a couple photos. Some of these ones might be ones we use during the conference, and we'll just do a little quick slideshow here so you guys can kind of see a little bit of the kind of stuff that we're going to be working on. So we're going to be working on being able to take a color photograph, looking at the different ways you can convert it to black and white. We'll talk about how you can learn to see in black and white, how you can learn to alter your exposure and your expectations when working in black and white. The great thing about black and white is it's in many ways more forgiving than color. You can have a much steeper contrast range. You can have more blacks. You can have more whites. You can break a lot of the rules that you can't really get away with in color photography. So I'm really excited to be able to spend some time with you guys and go through all these cool different ways of converting things to black and white. And we'll also talk about printing as well. That was not 100% black and white, but it's very, very close. To me, it's not really a photograph until it's a print. So being able to print that and being able to get those same rich tones that you get on your screen onto the print is a pretty important topic as well. So we're going to cover kind of all of that. How to see in black and white, how to convert and edit your photos to black and white, and how to make sure you get a great looking print out of it. And somehow I'm going to do all that in an hour. So that's what I'm kind of excited to bring to the landscape conference. So
Hey Dan, can you hear me?
I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can actually hear you now. So
we're back.
Whatever cable went bad, went bad. Can you bring those images back up and back up some to the to the silos? This first silo image.
Let's see the first silo image. That one.
That one.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about that photo. I flippin' love that photo. I don't know.
Yeah, I love that texture in there, isn't it? It's
yeah.
So, we used to call it tasty. So.
Yeah, it has almost like it's grain silos, but it's got that like industrial kind of like.
Yeah, they're beautiful grain silos, is what they are.
Yep.
Because
that's one of those things I love to shoot are grain silos, anything agricultural. That's always a thing that I love to shoot. I grew up out in the country, so
that just looks really, really cool. Because I think because I know that there's grain inside.
Yeah, that's
and I love grain. I love whole grain. No, just kidding. But I think that's as soon as they come up on screen, you know how you see an image and it resonates with you. I really like that one right off the bat. That's really nice. So your whole class is just on black and white conversions.
Yep, exactly. You know, how to see, how to expose, how to convert, how to do all the local adjustments that you can, because you can really craft it so much more. I mean, if you think about it, every black and white photograph is an illustration. We don't see in black and white. The world is not black and white. Right. So what you create is really in your mind's eye. It's all about, kind of pre-visualizing what you want those tones to look like, and then I'll show you how you can create those. So yeah, it could be a lot of fun.
That'd be nice. That'll be great. All righty. Hey, you just got a nice comment here from John Dukes. John says, ON1 plugins are wonderful and have helped my workflow and post-processing in so many ways, especially in the time I spend editing. We talk about that a lot, because as anybody watching this show knows, I use ON1 effects for my finishing move. That was just my only plugin. And now I use AI resize. I haven't used it since this morning. I used it this morning. What's interesting? I used it on a layered Photoshop file. When you use it on a layered file, it does every layer. It just does one after. It's really very well designed. And the no noise. I use that thing all the time now. That's my go-to no noise. Now, Lightroom has noise reduction built into it. And I think that everybody would agree it's the slowest noise reduction in the history. It'll even tell you it's so bad it'll go 1 minute and 15 seconds. And I'm like, I could be done in 10 seconds, 5 seconds with ON1 no noise AI. So it's my go-to AI. And if I know I have noise, I'll use the noise and the sharpening both at the same time. We had a question about that in our workshop, Dan. Somebody asked the question and it was, well, I thought you're supposed to put, you're supposed to do noise reduction first and sharpening at the end. And we said, it does noise reduction and then it does sharpening.
Yeah. Well, there's different kinds of sharpening. I'm sure you guys have talked about all of this before. So what no noise does with its tack sharp feature isn't really sharpening. It's de-blurring. It's different. It's actually an AI model that looks at what is out of focus and actually moves pixels to bring them back into focus. If you're doing your finish sharpening, your post-production sharpening, what you're going to do before you print or before you share it online, that's all about making it look great, maintaining that sharpness at whatever it's going to be shared on. So if it's going to be shared on a monitor, how you sharpen it for a monitor, if you're going to print it on a resin-coated paper versus a fiber-based paper, the amount of output sharpening you're going to do, totally different than de-blurring that you do in tack sharp. So.
Right, because tack sharp is something that you do up front. And I would do output sharpening at the very end. It's the final decision that you make. Josh Hill says ON1 is so fast compared to the others. That's true, Josh. It's lightning fast, and it does such a great job. There's nothing better than to look at your super noisy image and you've got the split screen,
and it just wipes it out.
And you spend more time just looking at it than you do actually using it. You're just going, I can't believe what I'm seeing, and you're moving that little slider back and forth. So here's what it is, Dan. It may take 5 seconds to denoise it, but then it takes you 30 seconds of playing with the results afterwards, not changing anything, just
looking at it, going in amazement.
I can't believe what I'm seeing.
Like an amazement.
Yep.
Wow. So it took out all that noise and didn't remove the stars? How did it do that?
How did it do that? Wow. It's literally more time looking at it than. And by the way, Dan, I don't know if you were here why I look weird today. I don't have my glasses on. I forgot them and I drove with sunglasses, but they're too cool to wear. Because if I wore them on the grid, literally, Dan, people would be passing out, down in the fetal position, children crying.
Yep.
We just can't have that.
You would crash the internet.
We would. It would.
Kim Kardashian.
Yes, very much like that. Very much like that. Yep. All right. Let's see. Jeff says, I want to see how to get started with ON1 in the conference. Yeah, you will absolutely see this. Jim says, I finalize all my photos in ON1. Well, welcome to our world. That's why there's a whole conference, right?
Yeah.
So many people use this. I mean, I don't know of a plugin. I don't know of any plugin that I've seen where a a plugin has a multi-day conference,
Yeah.
right? But there's so many arms to this octopus. There's so many different things. Like in my class on Photo RAW, I show you how all of this stuff is built in. If you get Photo RAW, you get all of the different plugins. You get keyword and you get sky replace AI. By the way, best sky replacement, hands down, better than Photoshop's, best sky replacement there is. And the collection, I was just talking to Kelly Jones, instructor, for us yesterday about this, Dan. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but the quality of the, what is it, Occudrone?
Yeah.
So with Photoshop, you get a few sample clouds, and you could never use them because everybody knows those clouds. They give you like 9 clouds, and if you use them, everyone's like, ah.
Yeah.
But the Occudrone, there's so many great. There's like hundreds of them, and you can get more. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, there are tons, and they are gorgeous. I mean, I live in Oregon. The sky is either all white or all blue. There's never any clouds those in your skies. So I have to replace skies all the time. And boy, I don't know how to do it without those Occudrone skies. They are just gorgeous.
Man, they are ridiculous, though. You talk about people that got serious about making clouds. Those folks, their stuff is incredible, and I do use those. I'll use those. I'm not going to use the ones in Photoshop because it's a dead giveaway. But there's just so many to choose from. It's so varied. Yeah, that's a great collection. It's worth it just for the extra clouds.
Yeah, and Barb's got a comment here. She said, I purchased the update for ON1 2024 and so anxious to give it a try, especially for the noise reduction and sharpening I keep on hearing about. So there you go.
Yep.
There we go.
So,
love to hear that. So.
Oh, hey, Natalie's got a thing. She says, Dan, when are you coming to the grid to do a how would I edit your photo session?
Oh,
so
that'll be fun.
We do that, and so we'll have you back for that. That sounds like fun. I'd like to see, because I always learn new stuff. Dan, I hop on calls with Dan, and I always learn. Every time I'm with him, I'm like, I did not know it did that.
Speaking of learning new stuff from Dan, you got anything to show us in ON1?
Yeah, show us stuff, Dan.
Ooh, I really, 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 really wanted to show you something new that we're working on. But I talked to the marketing folks and I said, "No, you can't show that one quite yet. We don't have all the stuff ready yet."
Well, just do it anyways. Tell the marketing guys deal with it.
I will tell you, there is some really cool stuff like just around the corner, and I really would like to show it to you, but we can't do it today. But maybe I can show you guys something else that's fun. Here.
All right.
Let's see. Let me find something here. We'll not do a black and white, but let's do. I just came back from a cool trip to the Badlands. And one of the cool things you can do in Photo RAW is you can actually do layered stuff, like you would do in Photoshop, but you can do it inside of your RAW processor. So let me just go grab a fun photo here that we can play with. Let's find one. Here we go. All right, so this is shot with the iPhone, wide angle shot. And when you shoot wide angle, because you're trying to get something interesting in your foreground, all the stuff in the background gets really, really tiny. Well, there's an easy trick for that, especially for a photo like this. I'm just going to take my original photo. I'm just going to make a copy of it. So now I've got 2 layers of it, right? I'm just going to grab that upper layer, and I'm just going to grab my transform tool. Before I do that, I'm just going to make my canvas a little smaller here so I have some more room to work with. And I'm just going to stretch this thing way out. And I'm just going to look at the horizon line here and the horizon line there. And I'll just line those guys up. There we go. And then I'm just going to mask those 2 together. To do that, I'll just use a simple gradient mask. We call it the masking bug. Click. Let me turn it around here. And adjust the line a little bit so we get it where we like it. Zoop. So there we go. Let me turn that on and off. So.
Oh, yeah.
Tiny little mountains, much bigger mountains. Look, you never know that you cheated. You remember the old split field filter that you used to put on your camera that kind of had like the magnifying glass at the bottom and the open at the top? It's kind of the same thing, but done through the computer. So way easier. So, while I'm here, I might as well fix this crooked horizon because Lord knows I can't take a level photograph, and I might as well get rid of this person that's kind of annoying over here too. Zoop. There we go, and let's make the whole thing look a little bit better by turning on brilliance. There we go, add a little bit more to the foreground. Maybe we'll add brilliance to the top as well so that the sky will get a little bit darker for us too. There we go. Just like that. So there you go. There's a quick way to combine essentially, two copies of the same photo together to improve your composition.
Yeah, because we always talk about that with if you're using an ultra wide angle lens, how it pushes the scene away.
Yeah.
You've got that great foreground object, which is wonderful if you can get low and get that in there. But then the mountains, they're so far away they don't look like mountains anymore.
Yep.
All right. Well, hey, we got to take a short break. When we come back, we have more Dan. We're going to also talk later about some more things from Santorini that we haven't shared yet. But we have a great question from Debbie when we come back. So stick around, and Dan's going to show us more stuff, and we're going to talk about stuff coming up. Don't go away.
My name is Rami Kazemi, and I'm an award-winning landscape photographer currently residing in Canada. Now, I have traveled the world and seen some of the most beautiful landscapes on this planet. I've acquired a signature look and a lot of techniques when it comes to post-processing throughout my photography career that has landed me where I am. These techniques are very, very essential. If you've ever wondered how does he do that, then this class is for you. Because I'm going to include all of the essential techniques that I've learned. These techniques have proven to be rock solid over the years. We're going to replace the sky, basics of luminosity masking, how to use luminosity masking to target your adjustments, color adjustments, dodging and burning, and a lot of other essential techniques that you need in your workflow. Believe me when I tell you that this is going to be all you need to take your landscapes to the next level. So wait no longer and come and join me on my latest class at KelbyOne.com.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Platypod, the world's most compact tripod base.
Hey, we got some shout outs of people watching all over today.
Yeah,
Who's
so
here?
we got Teresa saying hi from Summerfield, Florida. And then we got James saying hi from a lovely Phoenix, gateway to the Cave Creek and parts north. And then you got Doug saying hi from all the way from Council Bluffs, Iowa. We got Diane saying hi from sunny California. Hey, Diane. And then Leslie saying hi from Connecticut. Brenda saying hi from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Steve saying hi from Panama City. Jeff saying hi from Northern California. Cindy from New Jersey. People joining all over the place.
All right, glad to have you guys here. Dan, we got a question here from Debbie. Debbie says, "Does Photo RAW replace Photoshop, or do they work together?" This is a common question, by the way, that we get asked. We got asked during the workshop numerous times. So I'll leave it to you to answer.
Yeah. So I think the best way to think about it is our mission is to come up with really cool technologies that enable photographers to be more creative and not have a bunch of, junk in their way that they have to deal with. So the answer is yes on both of those. Yes, Photo RAW can be used as a standalone application. It can do all of your photo organizing, your raw processing, a lot of the things that Photoshop can do. So sure, you could use it as a replacement if you wanted to. But it also works inside of Photoshop and inside of Lightroom and inside of Apple Photos and inside of Capture One and just about any other tool that a photographer is going to use. You can use them as a plug-in to those as well. And you have access to all the same stuff you'd use in the standalone, but you could just use it as a plug-in inside of the application that you use. There's no reason you should have to switch. Everybody's workflow is different. I have people that use Photo RAW as their browser before they import stuff into Lightroom, and then they do all of their editing through Photoshop, and they use us as plugins to Photoshop. Everybody's workflow is different. We want to work wherever you work, and that's why we work really hard to make sure it does work that way.
So that's a good answer. The answer was yes. It can replace. We can use it as a replacement for Photoshop or Lightroom, or you can use it as a part of Photoshop or Lightroom. That's how I use it. Yep. I have it inside both of my Lightroom and my Photoshop.
Me too.
But it's whatever, however you feel most comfortable using it. But the interesting thing is, though, is that it's all, if you get the Photo RAW Max, right? It's Max.
Just get everything.
That one, you get the full Photo RAW and all the sorting and all that stuff like Dan was talking about. But you also get all the individual plugins.
Yeah, like everything we talk about, the no noise, the effects, the portrait,
the keywording,
all that stuff.
Sky replace, all of those. But you can use them if you bought the Max version. It's a few more bucks, but it's worth it, because then you're working in Lightroom and you can use it. You're working in Photoshop and you can use it. And so that's my workflow. Is I use them as finishing moves or part of the workflow process now with the other stuff. All right, Dan.
We'll work anywhere you want to work, baby.
All right, yeah. And Dan, you sound like you're in the marketing department, even though you're not with work. Sounds like you got some of those marketing phrases, Dan.
That's right. That's right. Anywhere you want to be.
All right. So Dan, what else do you got? Show us some cool stuff.
All right. You twisted my arm. I will show you something cool that we're working on here. So, is my screen sharing still sharing?
Yep.
All right. It is. All right. So you guys are all remember Super Select AI. That was kind of the first, point-click edit tool that we offered using AI. So what I'm showing you right now is a pre-release build. This is not in anything that's available to the general public yet. It's just something that we're working on for the future. So the old Super Select, it had to understand what was in the photo. It had to understand the bits and pieces in order to be able to work. So when I mouse over a photo like this, it pretty much picks all the foliage at once. Well, there's a lot of times where I want to make a sub-selection. I don't want to pick a certain tree, or if I'm shooting flowers, I don't want a certain flower or something like that. But the old tool really only understood what the context was. So it says, oh, this is water, this is gravel, this is concrete, this is architecture. So on a complex photo, it left you with a lot of holes that didn't quite work the way you wanted. So what we've done is we've built a new version. The new version doesn't care what it is. It is so much more powerful. So let me show you here. This is the new version that we're working on. And with this one, it doesn't need to know what it is. I can just simply mouse over any region. You can see I've grabbed the entire pool very, very cleanly. Now, if I want to grab the little dude, I can just click on the dude. I can click on individual little bits and pieces and build much more intricate, much more accurate masks than what we did before. So this is what we're really super excited about. So, and very soon, you guys will be able to see something like this in your hands. So much better. Let me show you. Let me see. I'll show you another one. So, here's another one where, it would probably pick that whole person. But now I actually have the ability to decompose and pick different parts. All I want is feet or his pants or his arms. Or if I want his whole body, watch, I can just drag a box and it picks all of them.
Oh, nice.
Selection. So that box mode makes it really easy for grabbing complex things like that. And then, just like you could in the past, you would just right click and add what you want to do. Say, I want to add a motion blur to him. There we go. Bam, just like that. So, yeah.
Very nice, man. This AI technology is just unbelievable.
It really is. It really is, and we're very excited about it.
You know, Dan, has changed the way we teach here at KelbyOne, because I cannot tell you how much of our teaching was selections.
Yeah.
Like so much of it was, oh my gosh, how do you select the sky? How do you select that person? How do you select a circle? Dan, it used to, you know what a pain in the butt it is to make a circular selection in Photoshop? Yeah. Now you can just click with it with AI. All the AI stuff, and people don't realize, you know, what it was like in the old days, Dan. It was crazy.
That's right.
It was
you
ludicrous.
Had to do a color range mask combined with some other mask, and you had to brush all the gobbledygook away.
Oh yeah, and now like you're showing, the pants. Here's the shirt.
We switched really quick too. Like we as photographers, quick. Like I noticed that when we were at the workshop. Like so many people, like they switch quickly to the easy selections, or even generative fill is another one that's become like everybody's using it instead of content aware. It's like everybody jumped over to it real quick.
Better.
Yeah.
But really cool. I still use content aware though, because it's so fast.
Oh, I like content aware too.
Yeah, I mean, if it's at the right time.
Right time.
Yeah, I can't stand looking at me in the monitor here because I don't look like me. I'm just going to make glasses. So Dan.
What else?
Here, you can borrow mine.
Oh, thank you. Well, those would actually work too, because mine are kind of like that. All cool guys have those glasses, Dan.
I think it's all old guys.
Well, no, don't. Oh.
So what else you got to show us?
Well, that's it for Dan.
I was gonna say, yeah. Well, I don't know. I think that was some pretty cool stuff.
That was awesome.
What else would you like to see?
Yeah, anything you want to show us? That's cool.
We got one more minute, Dan. What else you got?
One more minute.
Yeah,
all right.
show us.
Well, I can tell you that.
Well, it could be 2 minutes. It could be 2 minutes.
It's super big too. I don't really have anything to show. It's one of the things you have to like touch and feel. But you know, with every release, you know, we spend some time working on new features, some time improving old features, and some time just making things faster. And this go around on making things faster is like it's the best we've ever done, I guess I could say. So you're really going to feel the performance pickup. Opening raw photos is twice as fast. Opening an on photo, that's the creations when you do multiple layers or HDRs or panos. Those are like almost 3 times faster. Export is almost twice as fast. Moving sliders, brushing, even with the deepest stack, you can have lots of layers, really complex adjustments, all buttery smooth brushing now. So some really big improvements. Cool. We really learned how to do some cool tricks in the GPU to optimize that performance. So it's one of those things, once you get it in your hands and you feel it's like night and day. You guys are going to love the difference.
Did you say buttery smooth, Dan?
Buttery smooth. That's right.
Well, it was always pretty snappy for me to begin with. So I'll take any performance increase.
Oh, sure, faster is always better.
But
right?
it really was never that much.
The less time I have to spend doing production stuff, the better. All right. Well, Dan, thank you very much for joining us today. We appreciate it. Thanks for showing us a little sneak peek.
Yeah.
You bet.
guys
Thanks for having me. It's always an honor to be on the show.
All right. Thanks, man. We'll talk to you soon.
See you guys.
All right. See you.
Dan's a cool guy, but I got to imagine that Dan looks at his phone sometimes and sees it's my number and goes,
oh, no.
Oh, crap. Here comes Scott. He wants me to add something to the program, or he wants to move
I will
say
that selection thing is something that we were talking about. And that's really cool.
Yep.
Yes.
All right. We are going to take a short pause. I do want to mention we have a brand new class. At KelbyOne, we come out with a new class every single week. A full, big class, full kind of class. This one is from Rob Sylvan. So you guys know Rob. He is the guy that writes LightroomKillerTips.com with me, but he's also a book author and instructor. He's a KelbyOne instructor. This week's class is from Rob. It is a Lightroom Classic, how to export like a pro. The exporting dialog box, there's a ton.
There's a mystery behind it. Yeah.
It is. There's a ton you can do with it.
Yep.
I'm actually writing about an export thing on Friday on LightroomKillerTips.com if you want to stop by and read it. It's very different from what Rob's doing. But Rob's going to do a whole thing on exporting, and it is very, very necessary because that is one of the most intimidating boxes in all of Lightroom, but Rob will make it very, very easy for you. Also, if you're not a KelbyOne member, why the heck not now is the time, right? Now's the time. And, you know, we offer 100% money back guarantee. If you join and go, man, this is terrible, which is not going to happen. But let's just say that you did. Then there you go. Hey, by the way, you know, I just saw the Fast Track, right?
Right.
You know, you guys have heard us talk about the Fast Track to death. It's 5 classes that you know, propel your photography. We got a letter, an email. Let me see if I'll just read it. I'm not going to show it because I didn't ask the guy's permission. I want to, though. Let me tell you. Hang on one second. I'm going to pull up this email that we got this week from someone that just went through the Fast Track. So let me.
Yeah, and the Fast Track's great because it's 5 classes that you take over 5 days,
Yep.
and it really propels your photography from like just a basic level to a really more advanced level. And we've had so many people talk about how it's leapfrogged their photography, you know, where they were doing this for 10 years, and it's like now they got it. They get a grasp on it. They've taken that leap with it, and they're doing so much to enhance their photography in just a few days.
Yeah, I was going to read it to you, but I have spinning beach ball, which has
Maybe
to
you
do
can
with
pull it
my-
up on here.
Oh, thank you.
Nowadays we got multiple
Thank you.
devices.
Thank you, Eric.
But yes, for some reason, Scott's computer always freezes up whenever he plugs in the HDMI. It's only his computer. We can never figure it out. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know. If you got some Apple technician out there, I'm telling you, this computer is cursed.
All right, so this is from a brand new member. Just joined KelbyOne, and he wrote, I took 6 years of photography classes from a great instructor and enjoyed it. I learned a lot. However, after watching the first of the 5 classes on Scott Kelby's Photography Fast Track, which discusses camera gear, I'm amazed at how much more I learned in just one day. All right, so thank you very much. That was shared with the whole company.
Yeah.
But anyway, we hear stuff like that all the time. If you haven't joined, go join right now. Go to KelbyOne.com, sign up. You'll love it. And if for any reason you go, you know, I don't love it, you know, we'll give you your money back. It's 100% guaranteed. Now, what's new? Of course, Rob's class is coming out. Mr. Kuna just did that. You saw the ad for his
Air shows.
his creative techniques for air show photography. And you know, if you've been to a lot of air shows, you kind of get into a groove. But Eric's going to show you how to literally reinvigorate your air show photography. He's going to show you different ideas and different techniques that you're going to love, and it's going to change the way you shoot air shows from now on. Hey, real quick, Stuart says KelbyOne membership is the best investment you can make besides your gear. Thank you. Cindy says, I need Rob's class. He's a wonderful teacher. Yes, he is.
Yep.
And
it's a class that I think a lot of people, when we're out, it's something people get stuck out on all the time.
All
it's
the
something
time.
if you're wanting to demystify that exporting, watch the class.
And Susan says Rob Sylvan is the best. Hey, that reminds me, one more thing, and we'll get off the KelbyOne thing. But I was doing a one-on-one portfolio review with one of our VIP members recently, and he said something that I wish I had recorded it, because what he said was this: you know, you guys will have new instructors every once in a while. And he says, but I've been with KelbyOne long enough to know if they're one of your instructors that you've already vetted them, they're going to be fantastic. He goes, I can go to YouTube and there's all kinds of videos and you don't know what you're going to get, or, you know, he goes, but you guys curate and you vet. And if instructor comes on, I don't have to worry about, is this woman any good? Is this guy any good? I know that you guys vet the classes. I know that you guys are the best. I was like, that was like, this is what we do.
Well, that's what it's all about, right? Because, and really, honestly, we that is a practice and exercise we do. I know we'll go watch YouTube videos that are very popular, and as photographers, we'll watch it and go, this is terrible. We are telling people this is the number. I remember we were watching the number one portrait photography video, and everything, like millions of people watch this, everything was wrong. Not a single.
This is awesome.
Not a single piece of advice was right.
Like, we're watching it, we're like, no.
But that's what you get for
wow. We were
for
stunned.
YouTube video.
We were stunned.
Yep.
But anyway,
Yeah.
and so all of those people are going off with bad information.
Yeah,
So
it hurts.
Our
It
instructors
hurts.
are awesome. We have over 100 instructors that we work with, and we're adding new ones all the time. Okay,
All right,
that's enough
we
about
got
it. Go
we got
join.
a bunch of prizes we got to give away.
We have prizes,
So,
and then we have one more thing to do. We'll wrap up.
oh,
Is it? It can't be
thought
break time.
We already did a break, didn't we?
We're all
We already did breaks.
we're all broken.
We're all broken.
Do we really need to take another break?
Break?
Yes.
All right,
We're
we'll
going to
take
take another
another
break,
break.
just to give Dobson more practice on the jib.
Yeah, I guess.
And then we come back. We've got the prizes, and we've got some. Oh God, there's our heads are cut off and stuff.
Well,
We need to take more breaks apparently.
hey everybody, Erik Kuna here, and join me in a new class over on KelbyOne.com all about night photography, and specifically Milky Way photography done in one exposure. This is a technique where we're going to use low-level light painting. We're going to use dim lights set in color balance to the Milky Way. We're going to position them around our scene so we balance the Milky Way exposure and the foreground exposure together in one exposure, so no stacking, no tracking, no compositing, no nothing. You can take your shot and your scene behind here and make it into this. And that's what it's all about in this class, is taking these lights, mixing them together, and harnessing the power to tell that story on the foreground and the Milky Way, all in one exposure. So join me on that class on KelbyOne.com, all about low-level light painting in one exposure.
I am a portrait and wedding photographer based in Valencia, Spain.
I do mainly commercial and editorial photography, and I retouch up to 100 photos a month.
We shoot almost every day for all kinds of clients, such as commercial, beauty, and fashion. And we retouch our work more often, like every other day.
I used to spend over 1 hour for one photo.
If we want professional results, we must remove skin blemishes, do micro dodge and burn, highlight eyes, whiten teeth, and even reduce wrinkles in clothes. And this can easily take me up to 2 hours of work for each photo.
So when I saw that there's a plugin for Photoshop that helps you retouch quicker, I was eager to get my hands on it.
I read many feedbacks about it, and I found a lot of positive reviews, which made me to consider buying my first plugin.
One of the challenges we have at the end of a session or wedding is to achieve an edition in our photograph that look natural. This is where retouch for me has become a game changer.
I love the feature that you can pick how much effect it has on your photo, and you can adjust it accordingly to your style.
I saved a lot of time and always end up having amazing result with my work.
I am extremely happy with the quality.
Now I am more efficient and have more time to spare with my family.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by B&H Photo, the professional source since 1973.
Hey, we're back, Scott and Erik, and we're going to show you. We have a couple more behind-the-scenes photos that Mr. Kuna is going to share
so
from the
this is us
Santorini trip.
Shooting. There's Tim shooting.
Yep,
That's
yep,
right behind the hotel.
Yep, right behind the hotel, right there.
This is a model shooting. You can actually see down there the flying dress. Like it was one of our assistants throwing the dress.
Yep,
there.
that's Michael
Yep.
right there throwing the dress. You can see his arm in the air.
That was one of those doorway
That's shooting
shots.
through the doorway.
Yep, you can see the group. And that was those rock shots you saw with the church. We were
Yep.
out there shooting low. I And then this is a classic shot that you get when you go here in the afternoon or the evening. There will be 3,000 people.
And you will wait in line for 40 minutes.
But right now, I think it was about 6:30 in the morning when we were shooting this, and there was not anybody but us on the workshop. That's how it works.
Yep.
You know, you can see nobody here. This is all going to be filled with tourists and people. And there's the restaurant. So I think that was it. Yep, that's it. There you go. All right.
I just got a text message that we noticed that your background and resume have been recommended by many online recruiters, so we'd like to offer you a part-time job that you can do in your free time. Our job is simple. Rate your favorite restaurants. There's no time limit, and you can do the scoring from home, anywhere from 200 to 500 per day, all paid on the same day.
Yep.
If you'd like to get
And
involved.
look at that, just a WhatsApp.
And maybe buy some cryptocurrency while you're
Yeah.
at it.
There's the WhatsApp
There's the
number.
WhatsApp number. So
Oh, boy.
I think I'm going to do it. I think it sounds
I think you
legit.
should.
I mean, it
Well-
sounds very legit.
I don't know the transition here, but we got to give away some prizes.
Yeah, we have to give away some prizes
Yeah.
to some people who
But
are watching
this
live.
will be legit versus that being.
Yeah,
that's not
I'm
legit.
starting to feel like that, even though that they texted me, which is unfortunate.
All right, so prizes. So we got the How Do I Do That in Photoshop book is going to Hung Pham. And then Photoshop for Digital Photography book going to Matt Plassence, yes. Platypod Elbow going to Josh Hill. Then we've got the V-Flat going to Renee Price. Then we've got ON1 No Noise 2024 going to Lou Blasquez. And then Retouch for Me Mattify going to Rob Nettle. Or Net. Yeah, Nettle.
Could be Nattel. or
Nattel. And then Slick Pick, the 1 year Slick Pick going to Sharon Armstrong. So all you got to do is email us over at gridprize@kelbyone.com. We'll verify information, then send you out your prize. Just please do that by this Friday.
All right, what's happening here in our studios next week?
So next week
Not in the grid.
Well, we've got a couple things. Next week on the grid, we are going to have a huge in-studio audience. Why? Because the next weekend we have our VIP retreat.
That's
so
correct.
a lot of VIP members are coming in for the VIP retreat that weekend. Some of them are coming in early. We're going to have a huge audience
We'll have
for
our
the
biggest
grid.
studio audience
Biggest studio
ever.
audience ever. So, and anybody's always welcome to come watch the grid live. Just contact us, and then we're going to have the VIP retreat next weekend. So all weekend
right.
we're going to have 70 VIP members coming here, and we're going to be doing
Hanging
some
out.
awesome stuff.
Doing fun stuff. It's just a social event, right? It's just, But it's going to be fun. We have fun stuff planned.
Yep.
All right, what else?
What else?
We have somebody else on the grid next week. Who's on the grid? There's somebody fun next
Is
week.
it Rick that's on?
It could. Rick
I
Salmon.
think it was Rick.
I knew it. Fun. Rick Salmon. The two go together like a glove on hand.
Fun and Rick
That's
Salmon.
Right. Anybody get that reference? Anybody? Nobody? It's Rick James.
Well.
Okay.
All right.
All right. While in the meantime, we're going to say goodbye. It's a great time for you to go and join KelbyOne. So do that. And let us know if you did join. We would love to have you on board. All right.
And next week, Scott will have his glasses.
Next week, I will have my glasses. I will look and feel like myself. And that's all I got. You got anything?
Yeah. No, we got a VIP podcast going on a little bit, so we got to
We
get
do,
going.
A couple of hours. So thank you guys for watching. Thanks to all of our sponsors, to our crew, Christina and the crew here. Jason doing the switching.
He's back
Your boy
from Santorini.
Jason, back from Santorini.
Boy, nobody had more fun
Nobody
on the island of
on the
Santorini.
entire isle of Santorini
But
than Jason
Jason.
did. And Jason went snorkeling, and Jason did all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
He went on a catamaran.
Met new friends from other countries.
Made new friends from other countries. Never went to
Yep.
jail or anything.
Yeah.
Ate lots of great
Even
food.
though our one driver said, the jails in Santorini, not too bad.
Not too bad. They're nice. This Greek food. All right. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next week.